I started crying. Oh my god. In today's video we are going to talk about my weekend because it was so terrible that it's almost funny. Almost. Okay, so Friday. I was babysitting, and which actually it went pretty well until the child stepped on a bee in the garden. And then the hysterical screaming and crying started, and I was like, okay, calm down, I have to pull out the sting. And then she started screaming even more. She was like, no, please don't. The neighbors must have thought that I'm abusing her or something. So then eventually she stopped crying because I let her watch Barbie on my phone. But every time I asked her if I can remove the sting now, she started crying again. So after like an hour of talking to her, she finally pulled it out herself and she was like, oh, it didn't even hurt. And then she was happy again. And I know it really hurts to step on a bee, but that was just really exhausting. And then Saturday. So that day I was supposed to work in Klosterneuburg, which is about 20 minutes from here, from Vienna. I was supposed to meet my boss, let's call her Amanda. So I was supposed to meet Amanda there. So a few days prior to this I told her in an email that I was arriving at about 9:50 at Klosterneuburg Kierling, okay? But the actual day I was about 20 minutes early, so I was sitting on the train, and when I heard Klosterneuburg I just got off the train and I didn't really pay attention to whether it was Klosterneuburg Kierling or not. Because I thought Klosterneuburg is not that big of a city, so I thought there's only going to be one train station there. And at this point I still didn't realize that I was supposed to be at Kierling. I thought that was the same thing because both of them end with ing, so yeah, I didn't even realize that I was wrong. And then about 5 minutes before she was supposed to arrive, I finally realized that I was supposed to be at Kierling and not Wadling. So I called her and I was like, hey, did you get my text? Because I texted her like 20 minutes before that I was at Wadling. And she was like, what? No, you told me in the email that you're going to be at Kierling. I was like, yes, I'm sorry, I got off the train too early and stuff like that. And she was a little bit annoyed. So 5 minutes passed. She wasn't there. 10 minutes passed. She wasn't there. 15 minutes passed. She still wasn't there. How far is this away? Because Klosterneuburg is not that big. After 20 minutes she finally arrived and she was like, yeah, it wasn't that easy to turn around. And she was a little bit annoyed at me and I was like, I'm so sorry and stuff like that. My boss doesn't really like me that much, so I was like, oh god, what have I done? Seriously, how stupid am I? And then we were supposed to go to the client. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know, we are basically just throwing parties for rich people's children. We are decorating and playing with the children and stuff like that. So then she typed in the client's address and it said like 6 minutes or something like that, and I was like, okay, that's good because it's not that far away from the train station. So then we were driving for about 3 minutes or something, and then we drove past the other train station. I was like, how on earth did it take her 20 minutes to get from there to the other train station? No idea, but I didn't say anything. Then we got to the clients, which, oh my god, they had such a huge house, such a huge garden. They were so rich, the house was gigantic. Seriously, wow, I think that was the prettiest house I've ever seen in real life. So then I started working, and let me tell you, I was working. Like, I was carrying so much stuff up the stairs and it was so exhausting. And after like 5 hours of preparing and decorating, we finally started the party and I was playing so much with the children. I was just running around and they didn't, like, listen, okay, they had a bouncy castle, is that what it's called, this thing? Yeah, I have no idea what it's called in English. Obviously they don't want to play my stupid games when they have a freaking bouncy castle in the garden, okay? And Amanda wasn't really playing with the children because she had 4 parties in a row, and she said I was supposed to play with the children and she was going to do the easy stuff like glitter tattoos, balloons and stuff like that. The entire day she wasn't mean to me, but always a little bit passive aggressive. and it was really exhausting. We had like one break at like 1 o'clock, and then we ate. The entire day I only ate like 2 bananas, a kiwi, an apple and a few cherries, and that's it, the entire day. And I was running around and carrying a lot of heavy stuff, so that wasn't nearly enough food. And I took potatoes with me, but I didn't have time to eat them. And then on the way home in the car, we didn't have an argument, but I don't want to make this video really long, but she complained about something I said a few days ago. I don't know, it was kind of ridiculous, so I tried to make a joke out of it, and she was like, no, I really don't like that. Okay, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna shut up before I make it even worse. She didn't even tip me. I'm 1000% sure that the clients tipped us. Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed, obviously. So then when I was on the underground, I wanted to eat my food, but I was like, no, you know what, I'm gonna wait the 10 more minutes and then I'm just gonna eat it at home with my laptop and I'm gonna watch something and it's gonna be great. So then I got home and I was like so excited to eat this, and then I realized that it went bad. So then I was sitting on my bed with spoiled food in my hand, and it made me really sad, okay? I was just really exhausted and hungry, so I started crying, oh my god. And I knew I had to wake up the next day really early because I was going to a flea market. Okay, so Sunday, flea market. I woke up at 5:30. Everything, my entire body was hurting. But still I got up and I packed everything and I was like, okay, I need to sell this stuff. First of all because I need the money, and second of all because I just have too much stuff and I don't know where to put it. So I packed everything, and right when I was about to leave, it started raining. Yeah, great, great, great. So my dad drove me to the flea market, and we have this really long wallpapering table. And the problem with this is that there is a little bit of glue on the table, because like obviously we're putting glue on the wallpaper. And obviously since it was raining, the glue got wet, and then I put my clothes on there and they stuck to the table and I got wet and disgusting, and it pretty much ruined like a lot of my clothes. It was just terrible. Okay, that was problem number 1. Problem number 2 is when it's raining, there are not that many people at the flea market, so nobody was buying my stuff. I was standing there for about like 7 hours for 20 euros. That's how much I made. 20 euros. And then a few hours later the sun came out, so it's not enough that everything got wet. No, I also had to get a sunburn, because I have to be the whitest girl on this planet and I have to get the sunburn when I'm exposed to like 5 minutes of sun. I'm perfectly fine with being pale and blending in with the white wall, which this is blue actually, but you get that point, okay? But what I'm not fine with is standing in the sun for 5 minutes and then getting a bajillion freckles all over my body, which I know some people think freckles are cute. I'm not one of them. But that's not all. That's not all. Somebody decided it was a good idea to steal my watch. I'm cheap, okay? I never buy expensive stuff, but that watch was 30 euros, which it's not that expensive. Obviously, I know there are like 1,000 euro watches, but that watch was expensive for me because my other watches are like $5 or something. But don't get me wrong, there were a few positive things this weekend. Like my sister, for example, she just started tidying up the room and cleaning, and she made me food. Like, she was a freaking angel. I have no idea why. And also her snaps. Oh my god. If you're using Snapchat, you're doing it wrong. I'm gonna show you right now how to use Snapchat the right way. When you realize you're in the Attack on Titan universe and you're dying. When you realize not even punching and screaming helps. When you realize you're one of those who gets the head bitten off. This is one of my favorites. When you realize you've made a big mistake. I cut my sister's bangs, and this time I kind of didn't do that great of a job, and she sent me this photo. Oops. And then she sent me this picture which says, when you realize that Nikki effed up. sorry. When you realize you don't have friends for a high five. So, I'm running out of memory because I've been talking about her snaps for like 12 minutes. I have no idea what this video is. Anyway, I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I want to pee and then... okay. Not pee. Peace. Oh my god, I forgot to tell you! When I was in the rich people's house, I went to the toilet and I forced myself to poop because I wanted to poop in a rich person's toilet. I needed to mention that.